What's up, streamers? So, according to a USA Today article, DC libtards are trying to push legislation that would allow teenagers as young as 16 to be able to vote. So, Democrat Charles Allen said that he was inspired by the high schoolers at the March for Lives event that happened right after the Parkland shooting, where they're pushing for gun control and stuff like they always do. He's saying that he's hoping they can get passed before the 2020 election. Now, last time, just for reference, that the voting age was ever changed was 1971. That's when they passed the 26th Amendment, given the laws that we have today that 18-year-olds can vote. Being that 18-year-olds were being drafted and dying in the senseless war, they wanted the rights to be able to vote. I get it. I'm fine with that. I think they should probably go back to what they had before. Maybe just change the draft date. I think it was like 21, 24, whatever. Stop the senseless war. Stop the dumbasses voting. Okay, but there's been other age change to voting laws. Tacoma Park, Maryland, Berkeley, California, and other cities have changed voting rights, allowing 16-year-olds to vote. But that's only in local elections. Unfortunately, a lot of times DC is considered a state. So therefore, if it was passed, they could then vote for the general election for the presidency, which I'm totally against. And with that being said, I just want to think about DC and who would be voting then if 16-year-olds are voting. The statistics for 16-year-olds, 17-year-olds, just students in general for DC is appalling. They have the worst statistics regarding school efficiencies. According to the Department of Education, only 58% of students are on the path to graduate this year, down from 69% in year 15-16. Also, only 18.5% of 8th graders are proficient in math and 29% are proficient in reading. So yeah, let's fast track these geniuses, to guiding our future. Doesn't make any damn sense. I mean, that's 71% of the 8th graders who can't fucking read, and 81.5% who can't do math, which both those things you need if you're going to be writing laws. So, no, I'm not trusting that. However, also in this article, they had a comment from a 16-year-old that attends Woodrow Wilson High School. And she's saying that we work, pay taxes, take care of family members, we can drive, do so many other things. So adding voting onto this isn't going to be that big of a responsibility. We can handle it. So already, just out of that statement, it's asinine. If she doesn't understand how big of a responsibility voting is, which I don't think most adults understand how big of a responsibility it is, then they shouldn't be voting. Most adults shouldn't be voting, So, I mean, that's just proof to the pudding. But, I mean, let's really think about the rest of the shit she says. So, she works. So, we've all seen how young people work. If you work in any type of business that employs young people, anything from the ages of 16 to 21, 24 nowadays, the majority of them don't really want to work. They're not great workers. They're lazy. They're more interested in what's on social media, looking at their phone all day long, but have the tendency to turn around and tell you how to run the business. It's also asinine. So I'm not counting work as a check mark for them. I mean, the work ethic in today's society is down quite a bit. So pay taxes. Not really. Teens don't really pay taxes. There's very few that occur enough hours in the work year to actually claim taxes. What happens is that the government takes taxes out and then gives it right back because they didn't pay enough in. So, no, that one's not getting a check mark either. Taking care of family. Yeah, no. So feeding the dog or making your mom's coffee is not actually taking care of family members. Maybe making sick grandma, comfortable in bed and stuff like that. Also, not taking care of the family. The only way you're taking care of actual family members is if you're 16, you already have a child, which just proves the point that you have a lack of ability to make good decisions if you're already having kids at 16. Driving. Well, there is a reason why teenagers are the highest among car insurance. I mean, you got to pay the most. And it's because you can't fucking drive. You suck. And just to back that up, in 2005, 2,333 teens from 16 and 19 were killed in car accidents. 235,845 teens were treated in emergency departments for injuries suffered and crashed while driving. I can provide that link for you where I got that statistic. So, yeah, you guys can't drive, so I'm not counting that either. You can't drive, I mean. So, yeah, I'm not counting that. And so many other things. That was their last thing. Well, true. Like, there are so many other things. What do? Do you pay for your car insurance? Do you pay for your health insurance? Do you pay rent? Do you pay mortgage? It's hard for kids to pay for their data plan nowadays, or the gas that goes in their car, or, you know, their meals, their lunches. There's a lot of things that teenagers get that they don't have to actually provide for themselves, and once they, you know, hit adulthood, they will have to provide for themselves that they don't really understand. So, no, I'm not counting so many other things. But let's just say that, you know, I know there's anecdotal evidence that there's, you know, hardworking kids and kids with great heads on their shoulders and blah, blah, blah. I don't want to hear it. You know, I got two 16-year-olds. I'm not talking about them. They fall in this category too. I don't want their ass to vote. But if they were, you know, I think we should, you know, alter some other things, you know, that has to do with ages. Because if you're saying that a 16-year-old can vote, then what you're saying technically is that they're an adult because adults vote. So if we're considering a 16-year-old an adult, then a 16-year-old should be able to be drafted. You know, there's a reason it changed in the first place. So yeah, think about that. 16-year-olds will be able to rip you out of your classroom. You know, no college future for you, and you'll be able to go to war. You know, and with what's going on in Syria right now, you know, we're blowing the shit out of them. World War III could be on our front doorstep in any day now. So I would think twice before I really wanted that, you know, privilege. But also, if you're being 16, you know, at 16 being an adult, then, you know, you'd be tried as an adult for everything. And teenagers do a lot of dumb shit. No more school pranks, no more fist fighting in the hallway because, you know, you're going to be charged accordingly. That means more felonies, more jail time, more wasted futures, and no juvenile detention center. Think about that. And there's so many other things, just like, you know, you said, you can weigh apples to oranges. The 16-year-old is going to lose when they're looked at as an adult. You know, you don't really get that much, you know. Hence the reason why 21 Pilots, you know, one of your favorite bands probably, is crying about having to be grown and wishes they could go back to mommy's arms where she's singing lullabies and putting their ass to bed. So I don't want to hear it from that generation. You know, the one that wants everything provided for them and wants to make the laws too. It can't happen that way. You know, you either just wait it out and you'll get your chance. But I mean, honestly, we should raise it if 71% of people aren't proficient at reading. I mean, that's pretty damn bad. How are you even going to understand what you're voting for? You know, that's coming out of D.C. I mean, those are D.C. numbers, and this is where this is located. But you know how the left is. If they get one thing, they're going to keep pushing. So I don't think it'll pass anyways. I just think this is asinine, just the thought process of it. 16-year-olds' brain isn't done growing. I mean, they're not done growing. So they're not mature enough. They haven't met the real world enough. The harsh realities of the real world, they can't cope with it. Everybody needs safe spaces and, you know, something to soft the head and, you know, a shoulder to cry on these days. So, no, damn sure don't think you should be voting. You'd fuck everything up. But these are just my opinions. I'd love to hear y'all's opinions. So, as usual, you know, tell me what you think. Like, dislike, leave a comment, subscribe. Peace.